Again, it's Friday, that time again where we do the recordings. Today is just a rundown of some of the birds and tell you about the progress. I mean, I'm going to show you as well. I'm going to put some nesting material in for a couple of pairs of green finches, maybe the bullfinches, just to show you how far along they are in comparison to the fives. The fives behind me, we've got 7 pairs on eggs, 7 pairs out of 8. The 8th one should be laid tomorrow. Checked one of the nests, the first nest. They're full, I checked them. They're due out this weekend, so definitely moving forward. The crossbills, I don't know, I'll keep a check on them. They're also due out this weekend. But before we carry on, I just want to thank everybody that has subscribed and everyone that is watching. And it means a lot, and all the comments and messages we get saying that you're really enjoying what we're doing. So for the beginning half of this, it's just a matter of answering your questions and giving a few more details on certain things. So we'll kick off with a message from Vince, my brother-in-law, who's a keen watcher. Thanks for watching, Vince. And it's about the everyday upkeep of the shed and the aviaries. Now, the first thing I always do when I come in is sweep the floor. We've put a new laminated flooring down, so it makes life a lot simpler to keep clean. And then just a mop through once I've done that, and then I'll do it again in the evening. It just keeps everything hygienically clean. Same with the panels here. That's the reason that I cladded it, to keep everything as clean as possible. So far as the flights, now the flights when we got prepared for breeding, I've had all disinfectant on, all the cladding got cleaned and everything, a deep clean if you like. They won't get another deep clean now until the birds have finished breeding. In between nests they'll get a general clean out, and you know, all the big clumps of stuff moved away just to keep it that much better. But on the whole, I don't like to disturb them. That brings me to the flooring. What we use for the flooring, we use Easy Bed, which is wood chip. We sell loads of it. It's really good for the price you get anyway. And so far as like perchings and stuff, this is a thing that for your more advanced bird keepers, a standard piece of doweling, it will work, but different size perchings is better for the birds. Now, that goes from anything from thin twigs, a different array of different size perchings is always better for any birds, no matter what type, whether it be canaries or anything. Don't forget, birds are using their feet all the time, and if they're on a perch that's a bit thinner, and when they jump on it, the branches moving about, that's all well and good for birds, because it helps with the muscles and the progress in the wings and everything like that. So it's not just a matter of being a perch that's stable. Anything that moves around is not a problem. And a good friend of mine, Bill, I know in all his flights, even still now, he has basically like cable wiring, not wire, but obviously the type we use for electrics, quite freely through his flights, where they swing around. So, and all that helps with birds' muscles and everything like that. So, I mean, that is just something to think about, perching. And perching is vital for breeding. I've explained this many a times, that when you put your nest sites up, a perch around the nest is vital for feeding. If you've got nowhere to feed, they're going to struggle to get balance when they're feeding the young ones, because the young ones, especially bullfinches, they move around, their heads move around. Just things like that, things in general. Another thing again, the water fountains and seed fountains I use are just for my personal preference, so I don't have to disturb them, keep going in there constantly. Next one is, keep getting asked this quite a lot, about the smoke bombs we use. It's Pronafit. I mean, they are very accessible from most places. If you just put that into Google, you will find a supplier. I mean, like I said, we don't supply them. It's one thing that I buy in myself for my personal use. And once you start using them, I don't think you'll look back. I think they're ideal for what you want. So now that'll bring me on to questions about wild plants, wild seeds, greenery, stuff like that. So I'll run through each one. Some that may get overlooked. I mean, we know about dandelions and chickweed, but I'll explain each one, and there'll be a picture resembling each one, and just something for you to have a look at and maybe think about. Now that brings me onto the greens and the wild stuff. Like I said, it's from Chris Harrison, a regular viewer of ours, and thanks for watching, Chris. We'll start with dandelions. Anyone knows dandelions are one of the best wild foods you can get for conditioning any bird, regardless if it be canaries, British finches. I mean, my green finches devour them within no time. There's plenty of goodness in there, vitamins galore. I mean, everyone knows how to use dandelions. You can get them in when they're in flower, when they're actually yellow or orange, or when they're in seed form. I've many times pulled the old plant up, even with the roots, and fed them to birds. There's goodness in the old plant, not just the actual dandelion as well, the dandelion leaves. So if you do have a good supply of dandelions, have them in your garden, or know somewhere sustainable that you know not going to be sprayed, go and fill a bag, fill up and get them to your birds. Chickweed. Now, chickweed is one that I've been feeding my birds, again, same as dandelions, for years. Luckily, as a gardener, I have quite an abundance of chickweed that I can pick, that I know that it's not going to have any spray on or dog mess or fox wheat, anything like that. So the last thing you want to do is be picking it and passing any bacterial disease or anything onto your birds. And I've got, like I said, a good supply. Now, it is best in its seed form when the actual weed itself has gone to seed, because it's natural seed. But actually, the actual green form, as in leaf itself, the birds will devour as well. And there's been many times in the flights with the birds where the chickweed has died off, and they've used that for nesting material. So it's recycling what it is already. And there's going to be a picture on there. You'll see it's really easy to identify. It grows absolutely everywhere. Little white flowers on, and if you can get it, go and get it for breeding. It's called chickweed for a reason. Groundsel, another one that'll probably be overlooked by many people. Now, the next few is, unless you are a bird keeper of some time, you won't know a lot of these weeds or even the names. I mean, you've probably seen them out there when you go out walking and stuff, some natural places, parks and stuff. You'll see a lot of the next few, but probably never thought about it as a feed for birds. Groundsel's brilliant again. The picture you will see to identify groundsel, it's another one that I've been giving mine for years. Broadleaf dock, or dock. We all know Dandelion and Burdock. Yeah, so you got your dandelions, burdock, or dock. Now, you can give this when it's dry. Later on in the season, September time, all the actual greenery will, the seed heads will go to seed, but it's not actually technically a seed, as in like sunflower seed. It is a seed, but it's not in seed form, and that'll be totally brown. But I actually give it before it turns brown and when it turns brown, depending what I can source at that time. Giving it in the green form, same again, full of vitamins and minerals. Go out and get some. Hairy bittercress. Now, this itself as a plant, no significance whatsoever to the birds, but the seeds that it produces regularly are brilliant. Now, when you probably pick this and put it into your bag, before you've probably got it into your bag, the seeds in the seed pods will just explode and disperse everywhere. So my theory is get your bag of your weeds, whatever you're picking, at the side and just knock the actual plant itself into these seeds, and all the little seeds are going to go all over your chickweed and stuff. At least that way when you give it to your birds, it's on top of the actual weeds you're giving them. Catsia. Now Catsia is part of the dandelion family. Looks very similar to dandelions, but nowhere as nutritious or seeded as what a dandelion is. Does have seed in it like a dandelion does, but if they usually come out later on in the year, and when everything else is scarce, beggars can't be choosers. Go and get it and give it to your birds. Goosegrass, sticky weeds, sticky buds, we all know it as a kid, running through the fields, getting them all over your legs. It's not as nutritional in value as what some of the others are, but like I said, it's one of them that you will see everywhere, and wild birds eat it, so why don't ours? If you do see some and things are scarce, go and collect some, put it into your birds. Plantain. Now, plantain is a little ground cover and it's got a little stem. Get all the plant if you needed, pull it up from the roots, put it in for your birds. Bullfinches, greenfinches will devour it. It's an underrated plant and the birds will eat it. It's one of them where your dandelions are finished. The chickweed is going to be a bit scarce because you probably already used it. So these type of plants mentioning is just a different source. Maybe we feed our birds like your peas and your sweet corn and carrot, but these type of seeds are plants or natural. It's what the natural birds are eating. Just go out and get any of these. Make sure it's reliable, that it's not being sprayed and stuff like that. Now lastly but not leastly in the weed form is stinging nettles. Now a lot of you will probably not even bother even thinking about it. Stinging nettles itself is actually really high in iron. So don't give it too much to your birds if you like giving spinach and broccoli, because they're already iron anyway. But the reason I've got a patch in my garden I leave every year, but the reason I get it is I'll leave it for a while until the aphids are up the plant and it's full of green fly. Then you just literally cut it off straight into a bag. I've put it straight for my red poles. It's free, natural, live food for your birds. So don't underestimate your natural live foods and your things that are abundant, because these are all free. And there's nothing better than giving your birds natural products that are free. Not in my eyes anyway. Lastly, but definitely not leastly, is lavender and rosemary. Lavender, the actual, once it's flowered, it actually turns to seed. Perfect for your goldfinches. Rosemary, again, the same thing. I know Hussein, my friend, really believes in both of these, and it's something that I don't give my birds as much as what I probably should, because I'm giving them everything else instead. But that's, if you do have it in your garden, just take a couple of clippings off, give it to your birds. You're not going to go far wrong with that. The last question is, I've had 2 messages this week alone on goldfinches. First one was, can he have 3 cock birds in one flight? Now, it really depends on your breeding situation if you're trying to breed with them, because like I explained to him, goldfinches are known for pecking eggs. And if you want to breed in that flight, I wouldn't keep them in there. If you're keeping them in a mixed flight for the purpose of housing them, which I always, every year I usually keep one flight just for spare birds, spare cock birds that like your green finches or maybe a linnet if I've got them, but I don't want to get rid of them because they're too good, and just hold them back for the fact that I might lose one that I'm pairing. In that case, green finches, green finch cocks, don't put too much together, because once they come into breeding condition they are very aggressive. Goldfinches, yes, definitely. Yellow hammers, no problem. Chaffinches, now, chaffinches is a no-no. One cock bird, if there's two in there, breeding condition will kill each other, same with the bullfinches. Siskins, redpolls, not a problem. Brambles, like I said, if you wanted to mix them all in a mixed fly, depending on the size, they're not going to have a problem. I do know a guy down in Devon, he's got a 100-foot fly and he breeds siskins and greenfinches on abundance every single year. I'm just watching one, there's a pair in there and I thought they were cockbirds, but it's not a cockbird, just treading an hen bird. So little I know, that hen bird there has been singing her arse off, but not, well, as I thought it were a cockbird, but now I know it's not. Anyway, so he keeps his flight, like I said, about 100 foot long. He keeps all the different varieties of, I know he has a pair of this, that and other, but his siskins, 6 or 7 pairs, same with the redpolls, 8, 9 pairs of greenfinches in there, and he breeds them no problem. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it really depends on circumstances of your types of flights you're using, whether it be the size and what type of bird you've got in. So if you do want any more information on that, just send me a message to clarify which birds are going to be in which. At least I can help you a bit better then. So that's that over with. Now, in the shed at the moment, my birds are paired up, ready to go. I've already said I've got 7 out of the 8 pairs of 5-ton eggs and the crossbills. Now, I've got a greenfinch over there. I'll show you, she's built up. Now, a lot is going to say, and I can hear it coming now, it's way too early for this and that. One thing to remember is, last year I bred, I think it was 27 greenfinches. And the very first greenfinch it was an egg I picked up off the floor, which the hen is this one here. This was the 2nd week of March. I'd not even I'd not even put any of the conifers in the flights or cages. I'd just paired them up. I picked this egg up and put it under the 5. And this is the greenfinch hen. I did mark her with a red ring, but I took it off when I put it into the flights. Now, 2nd week in March. We're already on the 2nd week in March now. She is following in the footsteps, obviously, of the parent birds that there were. So what I'm going to show you is, I mean, I know for a fact she's building, because I've been watching her, keeping a little bit of cocoa fibre in every day, watching her building a nest. And like I said, the parent birds, they're already building. I did check this morning, because I've seen the hen bird sitting. I know she's not on eggs, but she's getting close to that point. Now, as I said, people think it's early, but if you take into context, that's almost exactly a year old. Same with the hen that laid the egg. The starlings that we bred, 2 years in a row, they went down on the 10th of March, when I had them and when Mark had them, because I remember him texting me last year, and I look back on my breeding records, 10th of March, both years consecutively laid on the same day. So take that into consideration when you think about saying it's too early. Birds are different, and I've said it on the last video, birds will tell you when they're ready. I've got, like I said, I've got the lights in here, no eating. The only other things I've got in here electrical is my cameras and my air purifier, and that brings me on to the next thing. I know a lot of you people keep saying to me, especially my friends, you look really sick in your videos. Well, yeah, sometimes I'm very allergic to certain things, and when I'm filming in here and I'm going in the flights, catching birds up. When I'm dressing the flights, I get really sick. My allergies are really severe. I mean, when I dressed the flights last time, I was in bed the whole of the next day. And obviously, considering with my asthma as well, then them two bits together don't really work well with me. But what can I do? I enjoy the birds and I fight through it. So that answers you, Kev, and everyone else that keeps saying to me, you look rough, puffy eyes and stuff, but that's explaining it why. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a bit of nesting material and we're going to set the camera and stand back and let you watch a couple of them pick up the nesting material, and I'll explain why I know they're ready as I'm doing it. And if we try and be a bit quiet about it, we might be able to catch them taking it to wherever they're nesting, because I know this greenfinch in this third flight here keeps picking it up, and I've not actually spotted where she's taking it to, so I might try and find that. Right, I'm going to put some cocoa fibre in just for her, just there, and I'll do the same with the next one shortly, and let's see how long it takes her to come down and collect that. There you go. She's got it already, and I know she's been taking it quite frequently. There you go, you see her now? I think she's looking for a bit more since she's dropped a lot on the floor. And as you can see, she's taking it right to the back of the beak, so that is carrying nesting material as they should when they're in condition, rather than just playing about with it. Now she's flew to the back of the flight. Oh, she's back again. I know exactly where she's nesting, but which is, I'll show you shortly. See if we can get her trying to put in the nest. This is at the front of the flight, right at the top. Right, so this is the third flight with another pair of greenfinches. I've seen this one carrying also. Let's put a little bit in for her. Stand back and see what happens. There's a cockbird coming for a bit of it, just messing around I guess. He's one of our stock birds, really nice bird this one. You've got to step away for a moment and try and let her come down. So that's the other pair of green finches. Let's try and look at the native bullfinches, the British bullfinches. As you can see, he's really keen, but as you can see, the colour on this guy's phenomenal. So we'll try the pair of British bullfinches. Put a bit in there. I know it's not one I'm looking to breed straight away, this pair, but I'm looking to see how far they are. And the end's coming down already, she's having a look. Yep, straight to the mouth. Straight to the back of the beak like I thought she would. Not sure to where she's flew off with that. I'll have to have a closer look later. Well, she's back to the front. I think she's probably looking for a nest site more to suit her. Let's have a look where she's gone with that. Yeah, she's gone right to the back of the flight, so we'll see. I'll leave that running in a second. I'm going to get some more and look at a couple more of the green finches. It is flight number 4. Now, I don't think this pair are ready. See, this is what I'm explaining, that not every single bird will be ready all at the same time. Certain birds will be more advanced than the other ones. The ones firstly are the young birds, early bred last year, whereas some of them are adult birds that breed later on, April, May time. So it's a matter of gauging in your birds what's ready at that time. But like I said, everything is set up now as it would be, so I'm not disturbing them when they're all ready, or if I've got one on eggs and chicks, I don't be banging about getting the others ready. So what we'll do now is look at the Siberian bullfinches, because I know that they're crazy every time I put a little twig or something in, carrying around. I'll have a look at them now. Put a bit in there. See what happens with those. Yep. Instantly the cockbird. But remember, these are higher up. Some of the birds in the lower cages not getting as much light as what the ones higher up would do. But I'm in no rush for these to go down anyway. They'll go down when they're ready. So in this, this is a flight cage. This is where I've got the parents that bred last year in a flight cage to the young one that is building now. This is built up already. This is what I'll try to explain, that every bird is individual, and I put a nest at the back for her last year, and I know that she didn't touch it. Put a nest at the front, and almost instantly she's built up, and she was sat earlier. She's right in the corner. All I've got round that is a bit of artificial plants, which I've explained already that I had spare for my job. Utilise what you have. I think within a week she'll be on eggs. I'm not rushing her. I'll let her do her own thing, and she'll be ready when she's ready. This is just a couple of shots of the 5s that I said are on eggs. So this is one of the pairs there. Sat very tightly, this one. I think she put her eggs back 2 days ago, so it's only a second day of sitting tight. And again, another pair that's she sat tight. Hers is the one that's due out this weekend. In this corner is the fawn to green. I just put her eggs back this morning, so all underway. Cage number 1. She's on 3 eggs today. They're be due to be put back tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, whenever. So that's just showing you where we're at with the birds this week. Like I said, second week of March. Now, there's birds there that is on different stages, like I've said. So now what I'm looking to do over the next 2 weeks, or maybe even by next Friday's episode, is to maybe get 1 or 2 pairs of green finches really going, especially the one in the cage over there. I think she'll be on eggs, and this is where for me it comes into a question of why go early with especially canaries. Now think about it, if I'm breeding 5s, I can allow to take a round off them, because we do exhibit them as well. I can take a round off them before I can even think about using them for feeders maybe. If in some scenarios with the mules and hybrid pairs don't feed, they at that point then they're going to be well underway, really busting at the seams to go down, and they've had a practice run, if you like, at the first round. So for me it's a no-brainer. Get them down and learn from your mistakes in that first round, rectify it for your second round, ready for when you need them. Or if you're breeding them straight, it's just it'll test out what's what. I mean, 3 rounds from any bird is not uncommon. Use the first round as an experiment, and if all goes well, then you've cracked it for the next round or the next 2 rounds, whichever you wish to do. But like I said, for me it's just a matter of gauging out how they feed, and if they're not feeding, why they're not feeding. If they've got black spot or anything like that, I can actually assess that early on in the year before it gets too late on, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it, because by that point, June, July, they've been slowing down and not wanting to breed anymore. Like I said, I've still got bits to do in here. Everything in time takes a lot of time to do, so still things to prepare for this weekend. Now if you haven't already, make sure you get your stuff ready. I've already said this in Wednesday's video. Preparation for breeding is the most important thing. If you haven't prepared for it, you're going to have a bad year. Sorry to say this, but it's a true fact. You can't just think I can chuck 2 pairs of birds together and get an outstanding bird, or chuck 2 pairs together just for breeding. What is the point? Any situation you want the best of 2, best cock, best hen, in the best environment for them to have the best outcome. It's just as simple as that. Now, I said about the fives, the Norwich Indeed are coming into fine fettle, singing their absolute backsides off. Got an hen up there, a nice yellow hen in fact, hoping to get some really good young ones out of her. Then possibly later on, it's not uncommon to do this, chuck a goldfinch in if I can get one off somebody for a goldfinch mule, or stick one of my limit cocks in. It's a common thing that my dad used to do, is take a round off them, and you're not losing anything if the birds don't feel the eggs, but such as your linnets and your goldfinches mule and hybridise quite easily compared to some of the other birds. So it's one thing I might think about after I've took a round off her. All depends how things pan out, and like I said, I've got the mules and hybrid pairs all paired up, but maybe later on down the line I might have to change them and put them as straight pairs. I don't know. Like any bird breeder and keeper, we adjust to how the season's going to suit us. But I suppose that's it for today. Otherwise, there's not really anything else happening in here. The birds are definitely in condition and moving forward as they should do for this time of year. But anyway, I hope the tips I've gave you at the beginning have helped, and if you have got some free time, if you're out walking your dogs, see some of these, and you know that ground is not going to have dogs weeing on them and this and that, take some on and try them with your birds, because I guarantee you won't look back once you start using this type of stuff. Anyway, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, let me know that you all liking what I'm doing, and give it a thumbs up if you do like it. If you don't like it, don't give a thumbs down, just message me and tell me why you don't like it. It's as simple as that. Less effort, and it helps me to improve what I'm doing for you guys. But thanks again for everything, and plenty to do this weekend, so enjoy your birds, and I will see you on Wednesday. If there is anything you want us to do for you in the way of a video, answer any questions, give me a shout, Direct Bird Products on Facebook, or send me a comment on here, and we'll do what we can for you. Have a good evening and take care.